Don't you want somebody to love? Don't you need somebody to love? Wouldn't you love somebody to love?
Does everyone sense that America is in turmoil? How did we get here? Let me take a few minutes and show you. There has been, since the beginning of time, a movement against God, but that movement is coming to fruition today, and here's how it started in America. A British occultist named Aleister Crowley called himself the Beast, and this was very true.
Mr. Crowley, what went on in your head?
Aleister married Rose Edith Kelly, and in 1904 they honeymooned in Cairo, Egypt, where Crowley claimed to have been contacted by a supernatural entity named, my guess is Awas, who provided him with the Book of the Law, a sacred text that served as the basis for Thelma. According to the start of the Eon of Hours, the book declares that its followers should do what thou will and seek to align themselves with their true will through the practice of magic. That's from Wikipedia. Alice very much exemplifies the beast in the book of Revelation. Aleister died in 1947, and it seems that evil was gone. But was it? On the scene came a false prophet, which caused the people to worship the beast, and that man's name is Timothy Leary. Leary was a public voice that called the people to practice sorcery, which is the use of potions or drug taking. According to Wikipedia, the human being was an event in San Francisco Golden Gate Park polo fields on January 14, 1967. It was a prelude to San Francisco's Summer of Love, which made the Haight-Ashbury district a symbol of American counterculture and introduced the word psychedelic to suburbia. Timothy called the masses to follow Crowley's "Do What Thou Will."
I've been an admirer of Aleister Crowley. I think that I'm carrying on much of the work that he started over 100 years ago, and I think the 60s themselves. You know, Crowley said, "Do what thou wilt."
By the way, Crowley's writings were the basis for Anton LaVey's Satanic Bible. What is meant by counterculture is that the virtue of the American culture was to be countered.
Question authority.
Good for Eve. I love to be descended from Eve. The first human being was a woman who stood up on her 2 feet and took the fruit and said, hey, if this is the tree of knowledge, I'm going to eat it because I'm a human being, and forget it, Jehovah. Forget it. Go back to, jump in your squad car and go back to headquarters, Jehovah.
Prior to this counterculture, people were to respect others and sacrifice for the good of all. They dressed for others, their speech was governed by their company, sex was for the marriage bed, marriage was a sacred thing, men worked jobs to support their family, not their own desires. Women loved and cared for their families. All that would change with the Summer of Love.
Our aim is to transform American society. In the next 5 or 10 years, we expect that between 20 and 30 million Americans will be using LSD regularly in their spiritual development and in their psychological growth.
In the 1960s, Timothy Leary brought psychedelic drugs out of the laboratories and onto the campuses of America.
These hippies went out from San Francisco with a desire to change the world. Rock and roll was taken over by the Crowley Revolution, and it was the music that led the march. The liberals of our nation today are the children of this culture. Their slogan is still, "Do what thou will, do your own thing, whatever feels good." Why do I tell you this? Because unless you are constantly aware of this, you'll be sucked into it. Our government, churches, and cultures are defined by this self-centered, self-fulfilling ideology that was given to Crowley by Satan himself. Fight the good fight and resist the evil.